Hi friends, it's Sarah from Ruffles and Rain Boots.com, and today I am sharing the subscriber free pattern for the hookback gnome. And if you'd like to make it with me, you know what to do. Just boop, stick around. As always, please like this video so I know you're here. So this is a free pattern for subscribers only. You should have gotten an email this morning with the link to this pattern. This is only available to my subscribers. If you're not a subscriber, let me know and we can get you signed up to get it. Okay, so you are going to need fleece for this pattern. This is a hookback gnome. So as you can see, we are cutting 2 pieces for the hat, and we are going to put the right sides of the fleece together. You cannot use anything that isn't stretchy or you'll have even less of a hook back hat. And in fact, this little point on the hook of the hat will disappear. It makes it really nice though, because we don't have to assemble this. There's a different way to assemble this hat. You can actually put it right sides together and then just trim off anything you don't like. However, this method allows those who want to sew it or glue it. So we are going to stick with as close to the edge as possible for this seam allowance. I'm using a detailed tip glue gun for this. For those of you who are sewing this pattern, try a 1/8 seam. You're not going to pop anything important. However, you can go up to 1/4, but you will lose a little bit of the width of the hat. So as you can see, my entire arm is on that table, including my wrist, and that is the only way that I am making those straight lines with the glue gun. That allows me to get a really good straight line. As for how you cut this pattern, again, we're just using 2 different colors of fleece for this one, and I won't be decorating it so that you can actually see all of the seams and joins. In future videos, I will be sharing how to sew this as well, but I wanted to show you just what it looks like because I have a lot of people who hot glue the patterns. For those of us who aren't great at cutting out patterns, hey, you know what? It doesn't have to be. You're not making an exact measurement outfit. So while that hot glue is setting, I just went and trimmed up you can see all my trimming there on the outside edge. Now, after you have made sure that glue is set, you're going to sort of push this through just using the center, not the seams. Once you have that in, you can roll it in your fingers a little bit, but go grab something with a rounded edge. So like these scissors have a rounded edge. I'm going to go ahead and start slowly. This is real time. Nothing is sped up. And you can see I am slowly pushing out this tip. Now I do it a couple times. Again, I'll show you everything. This video is only 11 minutes long, and it takes about 15 minutes to assemble the base portion of this gnome. So I've edited out any glue having to sit or any drying time, but that's it. So you can plan on a hot glue assembly of about 15 minutes, and for those of you who are sewing, you're going to be done in about 4. All right, so that little tip there, you can put something like a bell on some string and hang it out. It's really cool. Okay, so oops, boy, I messed up this so badly. Look at that. Look at all the hot glue bloop loops I'm having. All right, so we're doing right sides together on this body piece as well. Obviously, if you get a little glue, just wipe it off. All right, so I'm going to put the base of the body, after that has dried a couple of minutes, I'm going to put the base of the body with the right side facing in, because we will be flipping this. Now, for those of you who are new to this style of assembly, use pins. You will want to pin this piece. It does fit. It doesn't look like it, but I promise it does. We are going to crease that center piece and line up the crease with this back seam now. You can also start with the back seam. Either way, you're going to think of it like a compass, north, south, east, west. You're going to do north and south first, making sure it's even. Then you're going to do east and west. And then the rest of it, assembly, is just basically, northeast, southeast, northwest, southwest, until the entire portion is attached at the bottom. So you can see I've done north and south, and those are now attached, and I'm just going to do east or west. I don't know, pick it. But for those of you who are new, and for those of you who are sewing, absolutely pin this, and you will come up with a much better product. You can also use a sock gnome body for this, or a covered cone body for this, but the cone will have to be about 6 inches tall, and the sock will have to be very skinny at the top. And usually we accomplish that with, a little bit of polyfill. All right, so now we're just moving along the outside edge here. You can see it's pretty quick to assemble. Again, this is not sped up. This is real time. Just make sure everything is glued. So I often will move it and just make sure that there's no holes. You'll see me, like that big hole right there. You'll see me in a little bit actually start pulling apart the seams. I do that on everything I hot glue. For those of you wondering, you do not need fabric hot glue sticks. However, if you sell in hot glue, it's probably a good idea. It will have a better adhesion. I got another hole because I wasn't paying attention. All right. Yeah, I have had like 6 knocks on the door in the very few minutes that I've been making this project. So it's spring in Texas, which means tree trimming and yard service and all kinds of stuff. All right, so I'm just making sure it's drying. I'm going to pull apart the seams just to make sure I have no holes, and then I'm going to speed this portion up where I turn it right side out, bang it on the table, and run this bottom seam in between my fingers. To add the rest of the body, we need a little bit of poly pellets or other weight of your choice. I don't recommend using food products, but you know what? You're a grown up. Do what you want. And you're going to fill the body about halfway up. There you go. And now we're just going to rip off pieces of polyfill to stuff it the rest of the way. You do want to stuff it all the way to the top. We're going to be adding a little stuffing to the hat, but primarily the structure for this guy is on the body. A good rule of thumb is to overstuff slightly because polyfill actually breaks down over time, and it's just going to be one of those things where you squeeze it and you want it to bounce back. I do tend to rub the entire thing in my hands, in the palm of my hands. I use my hands to smooth down that polyfill on the sides. Just whatever makes your heart happy. Slip on the hat. You can line up the seam in the back or the front. If you want to cover your back seam with a beard, you can do that. I'm just lining it up in the back, mostly kind of forgot about it, so that I can just start stuffing the rest of the hat. So I tend to see another knock on my door, y'all. I'm not kidding when I say I was a popular girl that day. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit of stuffing, make sure I pop out this entire edge here right in the front, because we do want that nice hook, right? And we want that hook to stay. For those of you wondering, I have shared 100 times over on this channel how to add a wire so that you can have a posable hat. It's basically a pretty thick wire curved down at both ends, stuck as far as you can get into the body and as far as you can get it into the top. If you sell, you're going to want to tack that wire down with a couple of stitches, at least into the hat, so it doesn't move around and shift all the way out. So I don't want that little crease right there, so I definitely add a little bit more filling between the hat and the top of the body, and I think we are good to move on. So if you stuff it correctly, these actually almost touch the ground. The 2 little things on the side, they almost touch the bottom of the gnome. I'm going to be using a 1-inch wood ball for the gnome nose and some faux fur for the beard. However, you can use whatever your little heart desires. You don't have to use what I'm using. I made a blank gnome on purpose, right? That's what I do so that you can spend your time creating the accessories. All right, so I'm just creating it. Look at that. That's not even a good shape, but it's okay because this fur is wild, first of all. And second, we don't need a lot of it. So you can, like I said, cover up the entire seam with a bit of faux fur. However, I wanted to show you the seams on everything so you can see how this pattern comes together. So I'm creating a really short beard. There you go. Oop, I got glue right there. That's okay. We're going to cover it. Don't worry. And then I press this little gnome nose on, or gnome beard on, before I put the little gnome nose on. Oh, with an obscene amount of hot glue. I would definitely class that as obscene. So I'm just going to pop that on. You can use a half round, a clay nose, an ornament, anything you want. Pop on the hat. Now the little part of the hat will go directly over the nose, you can see right here. And so I want it kind of scrunched there. I will glue that down, but I'm just trying to line everything up. All right, now that I have that, it's time to add on our little bit of glue. So I add just a bit of glue right up here, and that is going to squish down the front. And then on the sides, you can leave the flaps up. So if you want to leave the flaps up, you're going to glue just this portion up here, staying away from the faux fur. And you're just going to kind of smooth it down a little bit like that, so you don't have any hot glue like seams showing. And then we'll do the same right here. I will end up gluing mine down, but this is just to show you, you don't have to glue the little flaps at the end down in case you want to embroider them or in case you want to add bells, whatever you'd like to do, you can. Now I kind of messed this up a little bit because I wasn't paying attention, so they're not quite even. That's on me. And now you can see, you can stop right there and just decorate, or I wanted to show you, you can actually glue these right down to the body as well. Depends on what kind of look you want. I already have a drawing of one of these with embroidery on it, except I remembered I hate hand sewing, so I didn't do it. But this is what it looks like. Boop. This is the pattern. I will put the link to the blog post with the link to the pattern, because again, this is only for subscribers. I would love to hear what you think about this free pattern, and if you are not a subscriber, I will put the link down below. Thank you so much for being here. Please like, share, and subscribe for more crafty fun.